Greetings, foolish mortal. 'Tis I, Viktorya Roze Tassi. A bit of information before I go into this video. I got my driver's license despite the fact that I had severe PTSD related to driving, which is a topic that I covered in a previous video. I'll leave the link down below for those of you out there who want to watch it. So, in this video, it's very important to note that this was for a SCA meeting, Society of Creative Anachronism, for those of you out there who hate acronyms, such as myself. And yeah, so anyway. So I was driving home following a SCA meeting. It was for weapons practice. Now, something else that you should be very well aware of is that the place where the SCA meeting for keeping their weapons had a history of being broken into, so they would send people home with like random bits and pieces of weapons due to like whatever reasons. And that night, my name was pulled out of the hat. So anyway, I said, this stuff had better be out of my car tomorrow because I had a class that I had at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, something like that, up at the local community college. And I do not want to be held responsible in case we have some little shit up at the college who looks into my window, sees all these awesome stuff, then decides to break into it. Which, spoiler alert, stuff was picked up from my car like the next day at 10 or 11 a.m. I mean, like, mind you, they came up to the door, knocked on it, asked me if I could let them in. I give them everything, and so yeah. Yeah, anyway, on to the subject at hand. I apologize most profoundly for bird walking, but yeah, so anyway, yeah, sorry, neighborhood kids are out screaming around, but anyway, it was about a 20-minute drive from the Allied Garden Center to my house in Santee. So anyway, I'm just driving. I'm doing 20 miles per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone because the overhead lights were not on for like whatever reason, and I'm an extremely skittish driver. And so yeah. Anyway, so I'm about 10 minutes away from my house. I'm going through the stoplight. I freeze at the stoplight starts to turn red because I was turning left at the stoplight. Stoplight was green when I went through, started turning yellow when I went through. I froze and I was like, oh my god, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And it takes me like about a minute and a half for me to finally get my wits together. And I pull away. And all the time I'm thinking, that's going to be a fun adventure to tell my mom. When suddenly, whoop whoop, oh fluff. I pull over to the side, roll my window down, yell out, I'm deaf, officer, I'm deaf, my ears don't work. So that anyway, I sit back, take a look at my clock because I told my mom I'd be home at like around 11 o'clock. It's 10:57, I think, at that point. So anyway, I'm thinking, oh crud. It takes the police officer like 5 minutes to get to my door, which I do not understand entirely what was going on. So anyway, I greet him with a top of the day, officer. What seems to be the problem today? I love West Side Story. Note, it was long before the disaster of a revived West Side Story movie came out. But that's a video for another time, shall I say, in the least bit. But anyway, he goes, evening, ma'am. Have you been drinking or doing drugs tonight? So I say, no. May I ask what this is in regard to? And he said, I was directly behind you when you froze at the light. And so I go, oh yeah, I don't like driving at all. I just drive because I have to. Yada, 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 like whatever. So anyway, he asked me if I can grab my license and driver registration fee. I get my license for him. I lean over, can't get the door open. I turn to the officer. I go, can you reach into the back and grab my cane? I'm gonna have to hobble out and get it that way. I just had knee surgery like 2 weeks before. And so he goes, I don't mind getting it for you, ma'am. I open the passenger door. He gets inside. He grabbed the letter like little booklet where I had the driver passenger information for. He hands it to me. I get the passenger information out to him. I put the book in the seat next to me. He closes up both the glove box and the passenger door, looks around, says he'll be back in a minute. And in that time period, I'm going, oh my God. Because that was the first time I got pulled over, and I was hoping that I wouldn't get a ticket or like whatever. He comes back. I asked him, is my rearview light out again? Because one of the lights in the back had been giving me trouble. He looks at me and goes, no, that's working just fine. I just pulled you over because I saw that you froze for like a minute and a half. And I basically go, I'm fine, officer. I'm fine. Sorry, I was just involved in a really bad car accident back in 2017. It was really awful. So anyway, I mentioned that where we were, up on Queen Mac near Sunrise Church, he get this look on his face and he go, that was you? Apparently he was like one of the very first responders on the scene. And I was like, yes, that was me. Office party. And so, yeah. Anyway, he asked me how I and my friend was doing. I said, Molly's doing pretty good. And, sorry, water break. And so, yeah. Yeah, anyway, we spent like maybe 10-15 minutes there talking. Then he takes a look into my back seat. He goes, what all do you have back there? I have him get my cane out. I hobble out to the back of my car, open the door, which, by the way, had like a bunch of medieval weaponry. We had like 3 English longbows, 4 recurve bows, 6 quivers of blunt arrows, like 7 long swords, 8 broadswords, a bunch of pikes, stuff like that. He takes one look aside, turns to me, and goes, how much free time do you have? And just, yeah. So anyway, at the next SCA meeting, he was there, and he was just going total bug-eye at everything that was going on. So, yeah. Anyway, that is my story about the first and only time I got pulled over. Everything happened, and just I did not tell my mom about it until recently for some reason, like whatever, but oh well. Talk to you later. Bye!